Hey guys, it's Kevin again. This is going to be another classic musical review, well, just musical reviews in general, but this really is a classic, and this one we're going to be reviewing is just an essential. If you're going to watch classic musicals, you have to watch this movie, or any kind of musicals for that matter. If you're going to watch a musical movie for the first time, you have to watch this one, and that movie is the 1968 romantic dramedy musical classic, Funny Girl. And Funny Girl is just, as I said, it's an essential. You have to watch it. Funny Girl was actually one of the first classic musicals I ever watched. I remember I really wanted to see this movie. I became obsessed with it for a while. Not just because Glee references it constantly, but also because I became obsessed with Barbra Streisand. I really wanted to see more what she did. So I remember I watched Funny Girl, then I watched Hello, Dolly. And what do I think of Funny Girl? Funny Girl is a masterpiece. It is an amazing movie. It is a movie that it's by far one of my favorite biopics of all time. It is a movie that, again, if you're watching musicals, and it really is as good as everyone says it is. It really is that good. But let's get to the plot of Funny Girl. Basically, a plot of Funny Girl follows this girl who was a real person, Fanny Brice. She basically was this young girl who really wanted to be involved in vaudeville, and she really, tried everything she could to get involved with it. There's a scene in the beginning where you see her struggling a lot and things like that, and she eventually gets into the Ziegfeld Follies because she ends up doing this one performance, and Florenz Ziegfeld ends up seeing her there, or as I call him, Flo, and, he ends up seeing her and puts her in the Ziegfeld Follies. And while this is all happening, she meets this guy, Nicky Arnstein, who is this man that she has a lot of encounters with, and the more her career goes on, the more professional she gets, the more she sees him. She eventually, the first half of the movie chronicles her period with the Ziegfeld Follies and things like that. The second half of the movie is when she abandoned the Ziegfeld Follies to marry Nicky Arnstein and sort of focuses more on their marriage and sort of like the downfall of their marriage, and that's basically the plot of Funny Girl. Now, I didn't really spoil anything because it's a biopic and this movie's so classic, I'm sure you guys know it, but let me talk about why this movie is so essential and why it's so good. First of all, I don't know if you guys know this, but Barbra Streisand was in the original musical. She was in the original musical, Funny Girl, the original Broadway musical, and I believe she won a Tony for it, but this was the first time that Barbra Streisand really got to shine to everyone, and she just gives the best performance of her career. She never did anything better than this movie. Yes, Hello, Dolly was great, but she never did anything better than this role. This is by far Barbra Streisand's best performance. To say that she was perfect as Fanny Brice is an understatement. She is Fanny Brice. She is everything that Fanny Brice should be. She is everything that Fanny Brice should look like. She is what a, actress playing Fanny Brice should be. She is perfect in this role. You don't see Barbra Streisand, you see Fanny Brice, and she just played the character of Fanny Brice perfectly. She had the wit of Fanny Brice down because Fanny Brice was a comedian. She was very funny, and Barbra Streisand's so funny in this movie. But the other thing I love about Fanny Brice that it humanizes her, because I don't think a lot of people knew the story of Fanny Brice. And Fanny Brice actually did do a lot of famous movies. You can watch some of the movies she did. She did a movie called Ziegfeld Follies that was literally just a bunch of sketches. I own that movie. I might review it. I don't know. But it's a bunch of sketches sort of dedicated to the death of Florenz Ziegfeld. She did that movie. And one of the things I like this movie does is it humanizes her character. It makes you feel for her more. It makes you see what she went through with Nicky Arnstein. It shows how much she struggled, which I really like seeing. Every biopic should tell you things that you don't know. And I love that this movie does that. They do it in a very good way. And I think the way they handle, her story is just perfect. Omar Sharif as Nick Arnstein is also perfect. He was perfectly casted as Nicky Arnstein because the second the two of them meet, they're going to fall in love. And the chemistry between the two of them is just so well. As the movie decreases, though, you do get to see that he has a lot of gambling problems, and while he seemed like the perfect guy, things just got worse and worse as their relationship went on. She tried to, not let it bother her, but more and more happened, and eventually, this is a spoiler, he ended up in prison, and I thought that he just handled his character so well, and the chemistry between them was perfect, and they were just both great together. Everyone else in the movie is really good. There's no one really else you can talk about because they don't have much time in the movie. Really, the movie is basically the two of them, and even though Omar Our Sheriff is so good. This is totally Barbara Streisand's movie. She stole the show to this movie. And the directing in this movie, now, I need to say something about the directing. Something you guys need to know when going into this movie. You need to know the first half of this movie is very funny and very lighthearted and very just fun to watch. You know, seeing Fanny Bryson and Ziegfeld Folly, seeing her struggle, especially the roller skate scene. It has me cracking up so much, the roller skate scene. So many scenes in this movie are so funny. There's a scene where he tries to seduce her and she's not sure about it. It's very funny. But then the second half of this movie, when she leaves with Nicky Arnstein, gets married to him and things like that, you need to know the movie gets a lot more dramatic and it gets very dark very fast because it's telling her story. And I think the directing by William Wyler, he just directed that perfectly because he told the story perfectly. He showed the happy times in her life and then he showed the sadness of her life, because before it's like, oh, she didn't have that bad life, why do I really care about her, you know, she was just a fun girl, you know, makes you think that it's, I mean, the movie's called Funny Girl, you think it's gonna be a fun movie, but it really does show the darkness of their relationship, which I definitely like that the movie shows that, and it's something that I did not know going into this movie. I remember the first time I watched it, I actually had a problem with it, because I did not know the movie was gonna be as dramatic as it was, and I like that the movie goes as dramatic as it was, because it's very realistic, and it very well portrays a marriage that they thought would be good, and it didn't work out very well at all, and I definitely really enjoyed that. The screenplay and the writing to this movie is just so fun to watch. Barbara Streisand is so witty here. She's so fast talking. She's so fun to watch, and just perfect screenplay. I love the screenplay. The dialogue is just fantastic. Just great screenplay overall. Now let's talk about the songs to this movie. Oh my god, the songs. The songs are so classic. So many great songs here. You got Don't Rain on My Parade, I'm the Greatest Star, People, which was written for this movie, and I believe won Barbara Streisand an Oscar for that. You're a Woman, I Am Man, just so many. I'd Rather Be Blue Over You, My Man, the title song Funny Girl, which was also written for this. Just everything, every single song in this movie is absolutely fantastic. I love every single song in this movie. And I love in the second half of this movie there aren't as many songs because it's showing how dark things got and how it didn't focus as much on her performances. But the songs are just so good. They're so memorable to watch. I absolutely love the songs in this movie. Just Barbara Streisand is one of the greatest female singers of all time, and this movie is why. This is why she's one of the greatest female singers of all time. I can't think of a singer today that sings like Barbara Streisand. I really can't. The only few that come to mind, a few names come to mind, Idina Menzel, kinda, you know, Patti LuPone, Bernadette Peters. Barbara Streisand is one of the greats. She is one of the last great, amazing singers alive, and she will always be one of the greatest female singers of all time, and this movie is why. Just, there's a scene where she's singing People, and just, oh my god, her voice, just listening to her voice gives you chills, really it does. Listening to Barbara Streisand's voice, if it does not give you chills, I don't know what will, because that gives me chills and goosebumps, and I love that. I think she is just fantastic in this movie, and she kills it, so good. Cinematography in this movie, I forgot how well the Ziegfeld Folly scenes are constructed. They're very well constructed. Also, you feel like you're in the time period of the early 1900s and World War I and things like that. You definitely feel like you're in that time period. But the Ziegfeld Follies sequences are so well constructed because, if you guys don't know, Ziegfeld Follies performances weren't a real show. They're basically just a bunch of sketches put together, and they were a lot of fun to watch in this movie. They're very fun to watch. There are two in particular that I love. The choreography is just fantastic. I mean, there's a sequence called The Swan. It's amazing choreography. There's another one called His Love Makes Me Beautiful. It's this scene right here. It's an amazing sequence. I love that sequence. It's fantastic. And the last thing we have to talk about this movie is the editing. And I love the editing because, as I said, the first half of this movie is very fun. It goes to intermission. Then when it comes back, it gets very dramatic. And I definitely really enjoy that. It becomes a lot more realistic in the second half than does the first half. The first half is still very realistic. And it really makes you just love the movie more, honestly. The second half makes you love the movie even more than you did. And that's one of the things that I just absolutely love about the movie. The movie did have a sequel called Funny Lady, but I don't want to talk about that movie because that movie is terrible. It's an awful sequel. It should have never been made. The only reason they had a sequel to this movie is because this movie did as successful as it was. It was totally for the money. Barbara Streisand didn't even give that good of a performance. She doesn't even look the same than she does in this movie. It really bothers me. I don't even like to pretend. I like to pretend that movie does not exist because it's really annoying. how dumb that was. But another thing I do want to say about this movie is there's so many catchphrases. There's one quotable line in this movie, "Hello, gorgeous," that she said in the beginning of the movie. And what's interesting is that after Barbara Streisand won the Academy Award for Best Actress, that's what she said after she received the Oscar for it. And I find that very funny. It really shows how funny and witty and charming Barbara Streisand really is. I love that about her. This movie got so many awards. You know, Streisand won the Golden Globe Award. I believe she won an Oscar as well. Yes, she did win an Oscar. It was nominated for Best Picture. It was Best Actress in Supporting Role, Best Cinematography, but it only won Best Actress, and that's really all it needs to win. I'm happy that it won that, and it definitely deserves it. If you guys have not seen Funny Girl, watch it right now. It is such an essential classic. If you want to see a movie with Barbara Streisand, make sure this is your first movie with her. She gives the best performance of her career. Such an amazing movie, and please just watch it now. Do whatever you can. Pause this video right now. Watch it, rent it, do whatever you want to do. Just watch Funny Girl right now. And that's basically for my review of Funny Girl. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think of this movie overall. And I'll see you guys in the next video. And I know what you guys are going to say. Why are you doing this? Why are you not watching the Super Bowl? Why are you seriously that dumb? Well, guys, I am watching the Super Bowl. I will watch the Super Bowl tonight. And I think we're getting the trailer for Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice tonight. Which if we do, I'll react to it. I don't know if we will, but we'll see. If we do that, then I'll probably do a video about it. But I am going to be reviewing Shameless tonight. I'm sorry, guys. I'm that dedicated. At 9 o'clock, I will be watching the Super Bowl till 9 o'clock. I don't care who wins. I don't really care about the game as much as I should, but that's basically it for this video, and I'll see you guys in my next video, which will be my review for Shameless. So see you guys for that. Okay, bye.